Welcome to Daily Politics on Trust TV. I'm your host, Hamza Idris. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow the conversation across our social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us live on YouTube. I have in the studio Senator Yusuf representing Taraba Central. Before we went on break, you just reminded me of former President Obasanjo of Friday saying that if he had wanted third time, he would have gotten it. Do you trust what he said?
Well, I don't know. It may be possible, it may not be possible. You see, in politics, they say 24 hours is a long time.
Yeah.
So, but, maybe, at the time, he said if he had wanted it. But someone will argue that if he wanted it, but he couldn't get it.
Yeah.
So
and this was actually the general belief out there.
Exactly. So
yes.
It's politics.
Now, I'm really curious. You said you wanted, okay, you had it the first time and then the second time. But, governors after first, second term, because of constitutional restriction, they now moved to the Senate. Do they really add value? You are a member there, and what is your take? Is it really necessary for them to go to Senate after two times?
Personally, my observation is that, once you are a governor and you have come to the Senate, yes, there are some experiences you are going to put into the Senate. But personally, I don't want to be a governor. After governorship, I go to the Senate.
I remember Atahiru Bafarawa, he said it's actually demotion. He said it at a time that after serving two times, controlling 3 senatorial zones in executive capacity, now to go back to Senate just to contribute. You don't even have powers to determine what happened in your senatorial zone. It's really good to move elsewhere.
For me, it is even the other way around.
Okay.
It is when you leave Senate and you go to the governorship that you are demoted.
Okay, when you leave the Senate?
Yes, because senator is a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Well, governor
collectively, you make law for the federation. So if you are governor, you are only restricted to your own state. For me, what is important really is the role that each and everyone plays, and not the constituency that he occupies. But as a member of the Senate, it is such a powerful institution, where it is respected. In United States of America, if they say you are a senator, they respect you much more than you are a governor, even if you are in the state.
Maybe because of the years of experience they garner and
not only that, because Senate means you are the whole federation. Collectively is your constituency, and you make law for the federation. No governor can make law for the federation. Governor makes law or execute law of his state.
They call the 9th Senate rubber stamp compared to, 8th, 7th, and all that. Do you believe in this?
I don't believe so. I've been in the 8th Senate, I've been in the 9th Senate, and still in the 9th Senate until maybe in a few months to come. And we have not been rubber stamps. I always ask this question.
But almost all the bills that get to your place from the presidency, they get accelerated.
Let me explain this thing. Have we been voted to come and antagonize the executive?
But you should check. Look at the rate. You are an economist. I will get to that. But you're supposed to check some of the activities of the executive.
You see why some of these things move seamlessly?
Yeah.
Because we do a lot of background.
Okay.
Background
which the maybe previous Senate did not do?
Probably they were not doing it. So we do a lot of it. A lot of it. We do not allow things to lie low, until just, it is the Senate. Yes, I agree. There are certain things that you are going to look the same. There are certain things you are going to look differently. There are also so many many bills of that were brought us which we have not done. So. I cannot see area of this rubber stamping. If they bring
look at the latest budget, the 2023, when it gets to the Senate,
it is not rubber stamping.
28 trillion.
It is not rubber stamping. What did the executive present to us? 21.
Okay.
And we put 22. Is that rubber stamping? It is not.
People are looking at the burden of, borrowing and all.
Well, fine. Now,
weighing down the country.
Now, when we go to the realm of borrowing, there are certain, it is budget presented, by the executive to the National Assembly. And the National Assembly, in its own wisdom, will look at it in the light of the parameters that were presented in what they call MTEF. Medium-term expenditure framework. So we look at it in that context. And if they say, okay, why is National Assembly approving, budget and budget and budget and budget, presented by the National Assembly? Why wouldn't the National Assembly say, no, National Assembly executive, the budget you presented is unrealistic? That is not the way we work.
So it's not the other claim that is actually to accommodate your severance and all that, because many of you are not coming back.
Has it been increased?
I don't really know, but
so
maybe it's a farewell for many
what is the percentage of the statutory allocation to National Assembly in the budget? It's less than 0.1%. So
of all the outcry.
So what are people crying? Is it 0.1% that is for the Senate, for the senators, for the members, House of Representatives, for the National Assembly Service Commission, for all the staff, for all the capital, for all, the recurrent, everything is within that thing that you are talking about. Less than 1%, less than 0.1%. So people, I think they should sit down and realize it is not everything that they see in the budget that goes to the senators only. What do senators get? What do senators get?
You say peanuts, but Nigerians see it as big.
Compared to what a senator in the United States of America gets, what does a Nigerian senator get?
So it's not true that Nigerian senators or legislators earn more?
They are not. There's a difference between running an office and also your salary. How much does a minister use in running his office in Nigeria today? How much does a governor of central bank use in running his office today? How much does the chief executives of the various parastatals use in running their offices? Check, and you'll find that it is stupendously high. But what we say is, let us look at it in the context of salaries and wages, and in the context, of the economy, on how the economy, is being run. So people should have enough information. They should do a lot of engagement. They should do less speculation and what have you.
And get it right. I wish I had more time to ask questions on this, but I will still go back to the Northeast, which is our subject of discussion. You narrowly miss it, APC in Taraba, when you had a woman. And now another one in Adamawa. What are her chances, Senator Binani?
Well, it's wonderful. In 2015, we campaigned for Mama Taraba of blessed memory. A woman, a powerful woman, wonderful woman, with a lot of, enthusiasm to lead. And I think it's the same thing we have, in Aisha, Ahmed Binani. She's also one woman that, I expect, she's my colleague in the Senate, I know how she's been performing, and I think she'll perform credibly well. There's no reason why we will say that, a woman cannot win an election. They say the test of a pudding is in the eating.
Yeah.
So we are in it now, so we go in with a lot of, passion, a lot of enthusiasm to make sure that, we produce the first woman elected, first woman governor, in Nigeria. And I'm happy it's coming from Northeast. And I'm also happy it's coming very close to my state, which is Taraba State.
Yes, but culture, religion, and all that, how are you trying to mitigate the effects of some of this?
We worked on that, in 2015, when that issue, came up. Yes, the culture is strong, the religion is also strong, but I'm yet to be convinced, that a woman cannot win an election.
All right, and then still on Northeast, 3 states PDP, 3 states APC, and you have presidential candidate of PDP coming from the Northeast, vice presidential candidate of APC coming from the Northeast. So people are really looking at that geopolitical zone as maybe to make a difference. So how are you working for the vice presidential candidate? By extension, Tinubu, who is the presidential candidate?
Well, jokingly, I will say it's Adamawa versus Borno. Jokingly.
So where will you belong? The Adamawa, because Adamawa, Taraba, they are one and the same thing.
No. The whole of Northeast, I'm from the Northeast too.
Yes.
But you see, we have to look at it in the context of understanding the dynamics, of politics of the Northeast.
Okay.
Yes, we have 3 states of PDP and 3 states, of APC. But what is fundamental is that we are going there, to campaign to our people to make sure that, the candidates that we have, are credible candidates. It's not going to be easy. Whoever tells you that it is going to be a walkover.
Is it because of the poor performance of APC? That is not going to be easy? Because in 2015, of course, you railroaded. Crash.
You see, in 2015,
PDP.
it's a different ball game.
Yes.
It's a different ball game. There was a change, in orientation, the change of, our thinking and what have you. Why I say it's tough for people to think that, because, APC, you have performed, so you can just sit down and relax and think that you can win
election. But did you
election.
perform?
Of course, the APC states,
Distinguished, you read economy at ABU, and then you went to, Algeria, right?
Yes.
You did your master's.
Yeah.
Still in economics. Will you, in all honesty, say that the APC government performed well to demand, to deserve another opportunity to rule Nigeria?
Yes, they have performed, but there's room for improvement. Just like any other place, there's room for improvement.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow the conversation across our social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us live on YouTube. Moving on, the victims of last week's airstrike in Rukubi, Doma local government area of Nasarawa State, have attributed the incidents to the anti-open grace law in Benue State. In an interview with Trust TV in Lafia, the state capital, the victims called on the federal government to prevail on the Benue State government to repeal the law. Take a look at this.
Rukubi, a border community with Benue State, was last week thrown into confusion following the airstrike that killed over 40 Fulani pastoralists with several others injured. 60-year-old Alpha Bello, who lost 9 children during the airstrike after paying 6 million naira to the Benue State government to bail his cattle, wants the federal and Nasarawa State government to come to his aid, and also calls for a thorough investigation into the incident. I lost 9 children during the airstrike in Rukubi, Doma local government area of Nasarawa State after paying 6 million naira as fine to the Benue State government to retrieve my cows. I am appealing to both the federal and Nasarawa State government to come to my aid and other injured persons to enable them pay their medical bills. A relative of some of the airstrike victims, Usman Bawa and Ibrahim Hassan, who are currently receiving treatment at Aboki Clinic in Dalhatu Araf Specialist Hospital, Lafia, wondered why innocent persons were killed, urging government to take action against those behind the attack, and stressed the need for federal government to prevail on Benue State government to repeal the anti-open grazing law.
So when they were uploading them, not knowing what is going on, they have seen a little bit like an aeroplane or a jet or whatsoever it's called. Then before they know, they have seen all like a flash of light, not knowing that it is bomb blastering them, scattering all the cows and as well as those people who were there.
Also narrating their ordeal, Adamu Abdullahi, who fractured his left hand while scampering for safety, and Muhammadu Aliyu said they paid 1 million naira on each cow to Benue State government as fine. Abdullahi, who has 2 wives and 10 children, said they were offloading the cows when the airstrike happened, adding that many people and their cows were killed. I ran when I heard the blast, and in the process, I fell and dislocated my left hand. I am feeling severe pains in my chest, legs, and stomach. I am appealing to the federal government and state governments to please come to our aid. I am calling on both the federal and Nasarawa state governments to thoroughly investigate the circumstances that led to the massive killing of innocent people with a view to bringing those behind the attack to book to serve as a deterrent to others. The chairman, Doma Local Government Area of Nasarawa State, Architect Ahmed Sarki Usman, who acknowledged that several people are still missing, called for calm, saying the state government is on top of the situation.
You must ensure there is peace and tranquility in the state. And in doing that, you call those that are affected, commiserate with them, persuade them to see reasons why we should not fight each other. We should try and ensure that the law comes to bear. That's exactly what we're doing. And at the moment, I want to assure you that everywhere is calm by the grace of God.
At the time of filing this report, no one has claimed responsibility, but pastoralists have accused the Benue State Governor, Samuel Otom, of orchestrating the attack, an allegation he vehemently denies.
Those were the victims of the Doma airstrike. We now have the president of the Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association, Magbad Baba Ngazarma, with us in the studio. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
We want to extend our condolences to you and the members of your group for what happened.
Thank you very much.
You have issued several statements, but what happened today is actually different because you called the group the Coalition of Pastoralist Association, CPAN. What informed this?
Well, the gravity of the carnage informed this because you have seen what took place. I have just watched from the video what actually happened. You have seen the casualties. About 40 people were killed. So many cows were killed. A lot of money is paid as fine to the Benue State government, and apart from the fine, a lot of money is being paid to the livestock guard as a damage as well. And up till the time that I speak to you, some of the cows are still held.
As we speak?
We speak now. We were told about 300 cows are still in Naka. Out of the cows that were impounded by the Benue State government, only about half were released to the pastoralists. About half are still with the Benue State government, and nobody is saying anything. And,
nobody is saying anything.
And about over 30 people died. Nobody is saying anything. That is what informed our coalition.
And who are in this coalition? Because it's actually monumental.
Yes, we have the representative of Mieti Allah Cattle Breeder Association, that is my association, which is the umbrella body of all the associations. Then under it, we have the Pulpe Global and Right Initiatives, an association that was formed last year, a combination of the Pulpe elites, former governors and what have you. Then we have the Tabital Fulako International that has Lamido Sunusi as the international president and Mala Isai Guda, the former governor of Bauchi State, as the state chairman of Tabital Fulako in Nigeria. And we have also the John Dejam, who is also represented by his chairman, who is Saidu Mekano from Plateau, and a lot of other smaller groups. We have the Gavdan, who is also represented there. So about 7 groups were there in the coalition. So we have decided to come together on behalf of all the other groups to tell our position to the international community and to the Nigerian government.
In one of your press statements, you said genocide, and the theme of today's conference was killing of Fulani by government agencies, a recipe for looming genocide. Why are you using this word? Because genocide is actually a strong word.
What can you call this carnage then? People are doing their legitimate business. Their cows have been impounded. They have paid the fine as required by the Benue State government. And apart from the fine, they have also compelled to pay the damage to the livestock guard. And even at that, when the cows were impounded, they were brought into Makodi by foot. But when the fine was paid, these pastoralists were compelled to load them on lorries because
those who confiscated them.
Yes, they were denied pushing them, taking them by foot to the destination where they want to take them. They were compelled to have vehicles and take them out of Benue. And even after doing that, at the point of uploading, they were attacked. So many people were killed.
But who are you actually suspecting? Because nobody said anything.
Actually, when it happens, it was a mystery for us. But it was after my visit to Doma, to the area where the incident took place. I met with all the affected pastoralists in Doma, at the MS Palace in Doma. We have discussed extensively, only for us to realize that it was a drone that was sent to bomb them.
Wow.
So who is supposed to handle drone in Nigeria today? Whether we like it or not, we must point accusing fingers to the security agency, to the army in particular. Because we have cases that were clearly attacks from the Nigerian Air Force. On the 7th of November, we had an attack in Obi local government where some pastoralists and their cows were mistakenly killed. And on the second day again, the same helicopter came back and killed some other pastoralists in Kiana local government, also in Nasarawa state. And earlier, before that, in the same November, we had an attack in the border of Benue and Taraba.
Yes.
The same attack conducted by the Air Force helicopter. So,
because terrorists are yet to have helicopters.
So considering this, one will also assume this very one also is being, we may assume is being undertaken by the
Has the military contacted you?
Well, we had a meeting with the CDS yesterday. We had reported what actually took place. We had reported our findings in Doma to him. We told them this is the thinking, this is the damage, these are the loss, these are the number of people who were killed, and this is the circumstances of how the carnage took place. And the rest, we told him everything. And we clearly tell him our demands. We need proper investigation to fish out the perpetrators of this act and bring them to book for punishment. We also require them to tell us the fate of those who have lost their families. What is the government going to do with them? People have lost their loved ones.
And this is where I wanted to, because while going through the text of your speech, you said between 2017, right, and now, over 3,000 Fulani herders have been murdered in cold blood, with thousands more sustaining injuries, some incapacitated. And through the near-daily cattle raid expeditions carried by Otto's militia, over 200,000 heads of cattle have been rustled, and over 400 million have so far been paid to Otto in Benue.
Exactly, to Benue State.
How did you arrive at these figures?
And the lives
they are really alarming.
We all have our records. We have the receipts that are used by the government.
And you have the names of these people, over 3,000.
We have them. We have them. When this thing started for a very long time. What the Benue State and the open grazing law brought is so damaging to Benue State, not only to the pastoralists, even to the farmers.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV, and you can follow the conversation across our various platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and follow us live on YouTube. We still have Baba Yusuf, policy analyst and strategist, the CEO of Global Investment and Trade Company, in the studio. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes, now to our biggest story of the day. The allegation by Governor Nasiru El-Rufai that a section of the villa is actually working against the emergence of Tinubu under the APC. Do you agree with what he's saying?
Well, I'm forced to agree with what he's saying to a certain extent, because this is none other than Malam Nasir El-Rufai, a sitting governor of Kaduna State, a frontline governor of the APC, a man that has pedigree and antecedents, so of fearlessness and saying things as they are. So if he comes with such a statement, it is bound to attract attention and to say we need to listen to this. we need to look at it. There must be some element of truth in it.
Wow. Now, who are these people in the villa, in your estimation, for instance?
Well, I'm not there. He has not been able to tell us.
Yes.
But some of us have said before now that the strength of the APC may likely be its weakness. A student of strategy, watching the unfolding events, right from the build-up to the primary elections, the protracted quarrel, the emergence of the party national chairman itself, you know, for the discerning man will tell you how things may be shape up, especially in the absence of very strong reach out and peacemaking and bridging efforts.
Yes.
This is the ruling party, and rightly so. There's nothing terrible about it because it is the ruling party, so the stakes are very high, and to that extent, managing that success is an issue. And this is what is playing out at the moment.
But for 8 years, no matter what, isn't it enough for them to actually say, okay, let's consolidate and see, even if we will not add more years, let's repeat what the PDP did, you know, in power 16 years old.
I'm happy you are mentioning PDP as a comparison because, yes, that is the fact. When PDP came in from 1999 to 2015, they were consolidating, they were building up. Now, this infighting of the APC is going to negate all the efforts from 2013, 2014, building up to the emergence of APC itself and the 8 years they have been in government. How they are able to manage it will determine in the next couple of weeks how things will play out in the national elections, especially the presidential elections.
Yeah.
We hope that they will not do what is called fall on their swords.
Wife of the president, Aisha, she reshared the interview El-Rufai granted. She's the wife of the president. She reshared it, meaning she concur, right?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because it is not new that Her Excellency the First Lady has been talking about issues of what we were calling the cabal, if you remember.
Yes.
Voicing out her concerns about what was going on in the villa over the years, right? Now you can connect the dots and say, okay, things are playing out. And because of the alignments and realignments that are happening, it is safe to say that, yes, this is real. And to buttress that, the presidential candidate of the All People's Party, by his narratives and rhetoric in the past couple of days, has actually confirmed that there are issues. Of course, we have denials and counter-denials by the establishment, and that is the presidency, to say there is none. One expects that. They have to put that front of we are one, we are together. But we will not look at the lips of the spokespeople of the party. We will look at the actions of the critical players, especially the frontliners. The presidential, none other than the presidential candidate himself. And now we are seeing other key critical stakeholders like Malam Nasir El-Rufai taking the bold step to say, yes, we have a problem. Whether that is a strategic move that will add value to the movement of APC to win election or not remains to be seen. But the reality is, this is what it is. It is what it is.
A serious problem. The federal government, let me put it this way, reacted to what El-Rufai said. Let's take a look.
The most important person to me is Mr. President. And I think he has shown by words and by deed that is committed to a free, fair, and credible election. And fair, free, and credible election actually means not favoring anybody or disadvantaging anybody. And everywhere he goes, he makes that very clear. Even as recently as Friday, when he was in Dara, he said the same thing. So if there's anybody who's working against any candidate, we don't know officially.
That was Lai Mohammed, but I am appalled personally. I don't know whether you are. He was saying the president is committed to free and fair election. This was not the voice we had when Obasanjo was campaigning for Yar'Adua. He was saying, vote for my candidate, vote for my candidate. Why are we not hearing this? You know, just, okay, Nigerians should just vote for whoever they like. Is the president really committed to the emergence of Tinubu as president?
To be honest, in my opinion, APC is suffering a late-hour malady, and if not cured, will lead to its failure. Like you rightly said, not just President Olusegun Obasanjo, any incumbent president that is handing over, not just talks about vote for my candidate, 3 keywords: with commitment, with assertiveness, and with all resources available to marshal support, okay, for the frontline candidate of the ruling party in any country.
Yeah.
Even in the United States of America, the United Kingdom, everywhere. Now, this is a little bit different. Okay, fine. The statement says the president is committed to free, fair, and credible elections.
Yes.
We'll hold APC to that.
Yes.
We hope that plays out. But, you know, if we go back a little bit, some couple of months ago, from the, like I said, the infighting that led to the emergence of the chairman of the party, we had speculations that it is not the chairman that emerged was not the chairman that
the larger family
wanted and all that. And then on to the setup of the Presidential Campaign Council. Recall that the Director General of the Tinubu Shetima Campaign Organization, Bola Tinubu had to delay, or rather recall, the list of that committee.
To accommodate
certain what they call larger stakeholders, something like that.
So is this infighting still, you know, haunting them? Because what El-Rufai said, Tinubu isn't actually the candidate that cabal.
Well, it is not actually the infighting had been there. It is now the infighting that is blowing out, that I said that requires all and sundry that has the interest of APC at heart to sit down and smell the coffee and agree their issues and deal with them.
Do you think they will do this? Because you can see they are just firing salvo left,
it's
right,
going to be a very difficult thing.
Yesterday in Calabar, you know, he actually fired at others.
Absolutely.
Saying that in 2015, dollar was 225,000 naira,
which is also
now
something.
It is 700,000. It is not even there for people.
Which is something different from what
even though
you see.
the campaign organization this evening said the statement by Tinubu was twisted by PDP. I think he has reached a stage where he is just voicing out his anger.
You know, Hamza, when no matter how strong and big a superstructure is, if the foundation is attacked consistently, there will be fault lines and it will consequently collapse.
Yeah.
That is what is seemingly happening to APC. How they are able
is
to...
is it a cannibalistic campaign now?
Now, because you see, sadly now, within the same party, you hear, you know, salvos, and you hear, you know, arguments and statements that sound as if APC is 2 different parties. As it were.
So is it now campaigning against itself of sorts?
Well, I think, like I said earlier, if APC does not realign and refresh, there is room to refresh this, to understand that
in the next 20 days?
Yes,
because we have
24 hours is a long time in politics.
Okay.
All right, for people that want to be practical and pragmatic, for people that want to be realistic at a critical moment in history of Nigeria. Nobody will wait for APC.
But do they have the time to now convince Nigerians? Today, the Transparency International, you know, released its yearly report, which actually is not really good for the ruling party, and it's not good for Nigeria. And within the country, you can see, do you have some naira with you now in your pocket?
I'm still struggling with some old naira note and 2 new notes.
So, but how many people have that? You are a privileged Nigerian.
I have 2. The rest are the old notes.
So do they have time to now, number one, reconcile themselves and then reconcile with Nigerians? Because it's like there is this general disenchantment in Nigeria. against the APC government?
First of all, before the general disenchantment against the APC, my concern for APC is there's also a general disenchantment by the members of the APC against the APC, arguably the biggest political party in Africa with over 41 million registered members, as mentioned by the former chairman of the party, Governor Maimala Buni, last year. And within the party, if at the top you have these cracks, right, you can imagine what is happening down the radar within the political party.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow the conversation across our platforms on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We still have in the studio Mr. Dakuku Peter Said. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes, before we went over, you actually wanted us to go national instead of the local politics. So I'm going national now. We're not hearing about Tinubu in Rivers, in fairness to people in Rivers and Nigerians, because the expectation is that you, and by extension, His Excellency Rotimi Ahmed, should lead the campaign of Tinubu in Rivers State. But it's like nothing is happening. Why?
That's not correct at all.
Okay.
To say that.
But I need some proof then to actually
say that you're not hearing
what
about Tinubu in Rivers.
Okay.
It's not correct at all. There are different modes and models of campaign.
Okay.
The fact that we cannot afford to litter billboards all over the place does not mean that there is no effective campaign for the APC presidential candidate in Rivers State. By the way, I have a super solid relationship with the vice presidential candidate, Senator Kashim Shettima.
Okay.
We have literally what I can call a family relationship. So I'm morally obligated.
What about with Tinubu?
Oh, yes. Wonderful relationship.
Which is stronger? With Shettima or with Tinubu?
Kashim Shettima is literally not just a friend, a family, literally a family friend of over 20 years.
Okay.
But that's nothing, it's not an issue. So the political space in Rivers State, as you know, is toxic.
Yeah.
The governor of the state believes in violence as a strategy of political conquest, doesn't believe in dialogue, doesn't believe that the opposition should campaign. He's literally taking the state to prehistoric times, believes that might is power. We all know him.
Yeah.
You hear him talk, you think that they've suspended reason. Nobody has suspended reason. I think that is his nature, habit formed over time. And
is that what is actually restraining you or being a constraint to you?
No, if you face that kind of toxic environment, you must devise better means of reaching the hearts and minds of the people.
So are you doing that?
We're doing that effectively.
What give me one or two ways you are doing?
First, there's a door-to-door campaign going on in Rivers, and it's pretty effective. Of course, the campaign rallies are going on at the various local government levels. Now, there's what is called the Jagaba Army, Jagaba Air Force, Jagaba Navy, all sorts, but the most important thing is the fact that it's been most effective and efficient, and the outcome, the results will show.
Okay, you don't have posters.
There are a lot of posters.
You are not doing
there are a lot of
jingles on television and
there are jingles. In fact,
radio.
There is a jingle on radio sponsored by me. I'm not just talking about the APC alone.
And while you are actually
5 radio stations.
And while you are busy actually accusing Wike of stifling the space for the opposition, but he is doing campaign commissioning projects in areas where you people are supposed to have worked that you didn't work, according to him. I don't know whether he's actually turning the facts, but you can see wherever he go for campaign, he will either inaugurate a project or he will commission a new project. So how are you going to face him?
All right, thank you very much. I think that there's misrepresentation and misinformation about the Wike
persona
in Rivers and outside. I think he's invested heavily in media, and you can't hold it against him. If you ask the average Rivers man, what project has Wike done? They will tell you he's done flyover and pushed Rivers to poverty.
How?
What has he done in the area of education? Nothing. What has he done in healthcare? Nothing.
What about the schools we saw him commissioning?
What school?
The photos are there.
The renovated schools, in few renovated schools. Is that the challenge of education in 21st century Rivers State? Certainly not. Wike has done literally nothing. Literally nothing. I mean nothing. And has time to be challenged.
We'll bring him here.
Is it in agriculture? What has he done in agriculture? Is it in power? What has he done in power? What of in industry? Employment creation? You see, there are indices for measuring the performance of a government. And so if all he can boast of is that he's done a few roads in the city of Port Harcourt.
But he also commissioned the Eke campus, of the Rivers State University.
The what?
Eke campus, yeah.
I don't know what campus he commissioned. Rotimi Amechi's administration built a model secondary school. And he simply renovated that model and completed the model school that's already been completed, awaiting commissioning. Painted it and called it a campus of a university.
So you think it's a primary school or something?
No, a model secondary school built by the previous administration. So what has he done? I'd like to know.
And you're saying he didn't do something
I
like
mean,
in
nothing,
health?
absolutely nothing.
What about health? Because we saw him commissioning the renal center.
Okay.
Is it that the equipment are not there?
Good.
Or?
The renal center is a sub-unit in a whole hospital.
Yeah. So you're talking about nothing for children.
Does that cure
for cancer?
The fact that he had abandoned primary healthcare system. Now, that is a tertiary function care system. Does it cure the fact that he abandoned the secondary healthcare system, which should be general hospitals, in 23 local governments of Rivers State? I come from Rivers State. Tell me of the 23 local governments where you have functional secondary healthcare system. I like to know.
Oh. But is it that he's doing Afghanistanism, let me use this in journalism, that he built a campus of sort for Nigeria Law School in Port Harcourt?
You said it. That's doing
Afghanistanism. Because
that's
there are
primary
more
responsibility. That's primary responsibility of the federal government. Is that correct?
Which was actually commissioned by President Buhari.
No, through the Attorney General.
Yeah.
Now, that's the primary responsibility of the federal government. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is.
Now, he's attending to that when his own primary responsibility, he has abandoned and abdicated. Does it make sense?
So what are you telling the people of Rivers now? During your day-to-day, door-to-door campaign?
The people of Rivers know who their leaders are. They know those who have deceived them over the years. Those that will not have anything to do with. And this election is an opportunity for them to end that era of deceit.
And are you think?
And dictatorship.
Are you mulling, a situation where you go into an alliance with the SDP and other parties in order to checkmate what you call the excesses of Wike?
Well, I don't think strategy is what you discuss in the marketplace.
Yeah.
You take your strategy to the marketplace.
But when you say it here, people who don't actually see you face to face, because they believe many of you live in Abuja, you
I don't live in Abuja.
To them.
I live in Lagos.
Yeah.
I mean, Port Harcourt every weekend, literally every weekend.
You go home?
Every weekend, unless I'm outside the country.
And you meet with relevant people to discuss?
I'm a man on the street.
Meaning that there is a sort of freedom if you move on the street to do your campaign. There is a sort of freedom, contrary to what you earlier said on Wike.
You see, movement on the street for somebody of my stature cannot be a way of defining freedom of association, freedom to embark on your political activities. Certainly, I'm not the right yardstick for measurement.
Yeah. So what are the chances of the APC in the South?
I believe it's bright.
How?
I won't go more than that. You want me to discuss our strategy?
Not really, because
we're in a competitive
it's an
election.
arena of actually describing or sharing the strategy.
We're in a competitive election. Now, if you go to Bayelsa,
yes,
go to Delta, there's realignment of forces. And APC is the beneficiary. If you go to Rivers, there's so much disenchantment with the government of the day there.
What about in Delta?
In Delta, that's what I'm saying, there's total realignment of forces.
But you have the vice presidential candidate coming from there.
Well,
how will you
I like you to look deep.
Okay.
Analyze the situation and interpret it in the light of your analysis, information at your disposal.
As a student of politics and also a reporter, I know that being a front runner gives somebody advantage. And Okoa, being a front runner, a vice presidential candidate, is actually an edge for the South. And maybe people there will say they start to gain more.
To change. And
people
the earlier you notice that,
they will be more amenable to maybe PDP than to APC, because one of their sons is actually there. He's going to be the second, the number 2 citizen in the event the PDP makes it to the villa.
I like to be objective in my analysis.
All right.
You see, Nigerians have since moved on. And the key factor that will determine how they vote today is not necessarily ethnicity.
Or you believe in this?
There are many factors. No, in some regions, it might be ethnicity. In some areas, among the elite, it may be competence. Among the urban and rural dwellers, there will be differences. There are different factors that influence how people vote. You know, the way young people in the urban area will make a decision, it's not the same way young people in rural areas will make decisions. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Now, the way religious fanatics will make decisions is not the same way those who are liberal in religion, on their religious leanings will make a decision. Is that also correct?
Yeah.
So these factors vary.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow the conversation across our social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us live on YouTube. We still have Hajia Habiba Ireti.
No, Hibba.
Hibba.
Yes.
But people call you Habiba.
No, they don't. My name is Hibba Tula, so everybody calls me Hibba.
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 What is the meaning of Ireti?
Ireti means hope.
Okay.
Hibba means gift.
Okay, hope of the FCT, maybe. All right, welcome back. We were discussing how to actually bring back the dwindling fortunes of the FCT. And the next question is actually how to get there. You can only actualize some of these your dreams when you get there. And people are surprised. You went to Labour Party when it is PDP and APC that actually slug it out seriously for the contest. Why Labour Party?
Let's put it this way. Labour Party came to me. To start off with, remember I was in APC and resigned and said I was done with politics. I was actually...
Because you were frustrated?
APC FCT leader, yes. APC was...
From top to bottom?
With APC?
Yes.
Oh, most certainly. APC was a party we had all built with so much idealism and hope. And after we won the elections, we started to do things much worse than the people we went to remove. And idealistic people like me were terribly disillusioned, especially in the FCT. We all see what is not right and insist on doing it. After a while, I did not see the point of being in such a party.
You mean APC is worse off compared to PDP in terms of performance?
Well, you could say that, but I know that when we went and ganged up, worked against PDP, is because we saw all these things that were wrong that we wanted to change. Corruption, not following the rule of law, not obeying court orders. I could go on and on. The list was long. We did not think they were on the right trajectory to take Nigeria to where Nigeria needs to go. We got together, we worked, there was no money, we didn't care. We gave our all to build a party that was supposed to have the ideals that we felt APC did not have, that PDP did not have.
Yeah.
Good, we got there. And immediately we got there, we would see some big crook and thief that's being chased after by EFCC. The next thing, he runs into APC and we celebrate him.
Wow.
All the things we said.
You never thought of this?
No. All the things we thought were wrong, we were doing it even more than the people were. So it left the bulk of the members, at least at the grassroots, very unhappy and very disillusioned. This kept up for a while. Remember when I went to campaign for local government elections in 2016? When I went in, just 1 year after we'd won, the youth, everybody, they will yell and scream at me, Haja, this is not what we said. This is not what we agreed, blah, blah, blah. And I begged them.
I hope they didn't attempt to lynch you.
No, they would never touch me.
All right.
And
but they vented their anger.
Yes, they did vent. And I said to them, please don't be annoyed. We will do better. We've only been there 1 year. You're already supporting us. You've already supported us. Just continue a little bit more. And then they did go and vote for us. Even subsequently, we did even worse things. It got to the point where people, what do you go out to tell them?
Wow.
I certainly could not. So at the end of the day, by the time we got to 2018, primaries that are not taking place, every rule that we've made bent and twisted, I didn't see the point. So I slowly started to withdraw from party activities before I actually decided, well, you're not really participating much. You might as well leave the party. And I did. And before I left, I made up my mind that I'm done. I'm done with politics. I want to go and do other things.
You didn't make yours public like Najat?
No, no need. I'm not that way. I wrote to my ward. I wrote to the party chairman. And I just told anybody who needed to know that I'm done.
And the Labour Party cashed on that?
No, they didn't come until immediately. Everybody knew. When they came, I'm no longer doing politics.
Okay.
I'm an art lover. And I wanted to go and do artistic things.
Okay.
All the little pleasures that I'd given up for politics, I wanted to get involved in them again. So, not just Labour Party. I first had a chat with APGA, then NMPP, which was actually my first choice. But there were certain things I did not like within the party in the FCT. I expected a certain unity I did not see.
In NNPP, yeah.
Within the FCT. At the time, maybe they're better united now. And then I moved. Then Labour spoke to me, and I still said I'm not interested in politics anymore.
At first instance.
Yes, I told everybody I wasn't interested, but they insisted and insisted and insisted. And when they insisted, and I said, okay, here are my terms and conditions. Can you meet them? And they could.
Give me like two.
One, I'm not trading in delegates. If you're looking for delegates that I'm going to go and buy, pay money to, I'm not doing that. I'm not paying party officials money to give me ticket. All the things, I'm not doing them. If you say you're different, then show me you're different. Let's start.
And they agreed.
On a different note. And they agreed, and we did start that way.
Some people we brought here said they are going to do a like of mixed grill, meaning vying for the, like you now, maybe the Senate LP, but you support candidate for the presidency under different political party, governor in your state, another political party, and all that. Is suck from top to bottom?
It is suck from top to bottom. That's how we campaign. My posters, my billboards have Obi Dati, me, and the House of Rep members. I'm not.
Why Obi? Is he different from others? Konkoso, Atiku,
certainly.
Tinubu, Olawole, or
Yes, of course, he's different. For one thing, he's a good almost 20 years, 15 years younger than everybody else there.
Age, okay.
Yes, one. Secondly, Obi, from his tenure as, let's even look at everybody's antecedents.
Yes.
Okay? I'm sorry, the other people's antecedents does not make us feel that it's not going to be business as usual. But Obi's antecedents shows that it will not be business as usual. And subsequently, since I joined Labour Party, I've interacted more with him and found that he's hands-on, he's not interested in arrogating power, he's not interested in all the paraphernalia of power. Obi is the most presidents, if you tell them, oh, Abuja needs a mayor, he probably is going to wail over the fact that he's going to lose control of the minister.
So he isn't power drunk.
Yes. But if you convince Obi that that is what is in the best interest of the people in that place, he will not try to struggle to keep it just for himself. So I find that at the end of the day, even if, as somebody would say, Obi is not perfect, I said, yes, Obi is not perfect, but of the three choices you have given me, he is head and shoulders the best of the three.
But what keeps coming up is that then, he doesn't have the solid grounding to actually...
What is the solid ground?
The spread.
What?
You have a councillor, I think, anyway.
He doesn't have to have. At the end of the day, what Obi needs or anybody needs are votes. What are the benefits of having House of Rep and all those people in a party? Is that they're able to fund, they're also able to mobilize, but Obi has enough people to do that. Okay, take FCT. FCT is different. Labour is fairly new. Yes, there are lots of things we have to put in place, party offices, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Even the name to sell to the people,
yes,
to say this is
we're doing so.
Are you giving them money while doing this?
Not a dime.
Are you convincing them? How are you convincing them then?
By talk. At the end of the day, they live in this country. Is it not how the politics has been done in the past? Somebody comes who has not spoken to you in 4 years, comes and takes all the money that you'd have used to buy, to build you roads, hospital, everything, schools. He steals it all. Then election time, he throws some at you, and he doesn't talk to you again for the next 4 years, and you do without. The choice is theirs. And I think people are wiser now.
They are not really keen about money,
no,
even though they need the money.
They may need the money, but they understand that you take the money now, you suffer for the next 4 years. And I must say, though FCT for most part is not a vote buying place.
Okay.
We've never been, at least not where the bulk of the voters are. But even you can see a change in the attitude of people. You go and talk to a group of people, nobody's asking you to give them money.
They just want you to articulate your points.
Exactly. And they want you to commit to doing certain things for the community. The politics has changed. And what I've noticed is that the majority of Nigerians who are actually young people, they've had enough.